The Ministry of Defence has today released a 7-page white paper on the infamous VVIP chopper deal. Now this is clearly being seen as a face saver by a desperate government ahead of the budget session of the Parliament. Well, this is the latest bit of breaking news that we're getting in. The MoD today has released a 7-page white paper that on the infamous VVIP chopper deal. Now this clearly being viewed as a face saver by the government right ahead of the budget session of Parliament. Clearly the government preempting trouble on the floor of the House and issuing this 7-page white paper. Let's cut across at this point of time. My colleague Jugal, who is breaking this news, is joining us right outside Vijay Chowk. We are also joined at this juncture by our defense correspondent Shivarur, who's in the studio with us breaking down the developments in this case. Jugal, I believe you have the details of this white paper which the MoD has issued. Can you take us through it?
That's right, Preeti. This is in fact the 7-page white paper which actually deals with the entire issue concerning the VVIP chopper deal that the MoD had inked with the AgustaWestland. It's a 35-page document. If one has to give a gist of what the document actually goes on to state, it basically says that all the procedures were followed. It doesn't name Air Chief Marshal S.P. Tyagi or for that matter anybody individually. It says that all the procedures have been followed. All the agencies concerned, including the CBI, the Income Tax Enforcement Directorate, they were all in the loop about this case, kept in the loop in fact about this case by the Ministry of Defence for almost this last 6 to 8 months which have gone by. And not just that, it also tries to, the government as a whole tries to defend its actions, and the only part where we see some controversy is the Ministry of Defence actually shrugging off the responsibility onto the MEA at several quarters by saying that the MEA was advised to take up this case, but for whatever reasons the MEA could not take up the case further and could not bring back to them the latest situation, and that is the only reason why, as per news reports, the Ministry of Defence could not have gone ahead. Also, another important point, Preeti, is that the Defence Minister himself today has yet again, and this is not the first time, let me just say it, that he has written to the Finmeccanica organization. They have the Defence Minister has actually asked the organization to tell and come clean to the Defence Ministry whether or not it has paid kickbacks, as has been spoken about in the media for at least a year now. He's actually personally written a letter to the Finmeccanica organization asking it to come clean on all the details of the case and to tell the ministry before the ministry finds out on its own whether there has been any middlemen who are employed in this deal, who are any agents who are commissioned in this deal. So this is the white paper which actually comes and tells everything about the story. They've tried to build the entire story out and how the MoD has always acted as per rules. That is what the MoD has tried to obviously bring out, but clearly there still remains several questions. And the important aspect, Preeti, as you rightly pointed out, that this comes in the wake of the Parliament session. We have with us our senior editor Javed Ansari. Sir, please tell us, what is the political significance of this statement being released now?
Look, for one, they appear to have learned their lessons from the last time, where information was coming out in driblets and it was leading to all kinds of insinuations and speculation. Now they appear to have decided that they need to put all the information at their disposal in the public domain and then allow people to make up their mind so that at least the picture is clear. The MoD's point of view, position on the matter is clear, and that's why they've tried to come out with as much information as possible. Of course, indeed, you know, they, like you pointed out, they've said that while they were making an effort, the Indian Embassy in Rome and MEA in general had certain constraints. They were citing the fact that it was not very easy to get these papers, get information out of the judiciary in Italy, and therefore they had to wait till the Italian authorities took some action before India could follow suit. So obviously it is a part of the government strategy. They believe that the quicker they come out with a response, the quicker they come out with all the details, the better it is, and that it might help them nip in the bud any kind of nip in the bud the kind of fallout, limit the fallout, the kind of fallout that they saw in the 2G case.
So do you feel that with the upcoming session of the Parliament, the government has in a sense successfully staved off the opposition's attack?
I mean, it's very early to say whether they have successfully staved off, because I'm sure the opposition will not be satisfied and they will use this to haul the government over the coals. This is not only about the Parliament session, it's also about public perception. Let's not forget that there are 10 states going to the polls this year, and then followed by the general elections in the summer of 2014. And there's already this impression about the UPA government that it's mired in corruption, and therefore the government is extremely worried, extremely concerned that they should not have yet another controversy over their heads, and that's why they've come up with all the details that they possibly could have.
Also, Preeti, if I may add, this entire development of issuing a white paper has actually taken place in the afternoon in the post-lunch session, because early on I was in touch with several officials from the MoD and there was no indication whatsoever of this. So clearly this has been prompted by AK Antony writing personally to the Finmeccanica organization asking it to come clean. Preeti?
All right, major developments taking place right now. Javed Ansari, a political editor, and our defense correspondent Jugal. Stay on with us, gentlemen. Let's bring in at this point of time our associate editor Shiv Arur, who's joining us from the studio. Shiv, how much can this be read as a desperate face saver? Clearly the government here preempting the ruckus that they're going to see on the floor of the parliament come just a few days, the budget session.
Well, clearly the government has, sort of predicted or foreseen the kind of turbulence that could happen in Parliament as a result of this. And that is precisely why AK Antony's Ministry of Defence has made this tactical move right ahead of Parliament, releasing this very elaborate and detailed 7-page white paper, which has been scooped first by Jugal Purohit, mentioning in great detail, the entire sequence of events starting from 1999 when the requirement was first floated until 2013 when the CBI a probe was actually ordered. A 14-year saga over 17 pages, in a great level of detail. Remember, the Ministry of Defence is never usually this transparent about defence acquisitions. It has taken, the prevailing media pressure to actually make it come out and put out this information in the public domain, which I must say is a very good thing. On the other hand, right now, look at what the situation is right now, Preeti. 1900 crore rupees of the total deal value has already been transferred to AgustaWestland. The remaining amount has currently been held back by AK Antony and the Ministry of Defence, the Indian government, pending a response from Finmeccanica and AgustaWestland. AK Antony and the MoD have written directly to the company saying, you need to tell us right now, come clean. This is your last chance to come clean and tell us whether anything dirty actually happened. You will not get a last chance after this, because remember, yesterday, the day before, AK Antony has come out in public to say that no matter how mature this deal is, no matter how advanced the stage of delivery, there is a provision within the defence procurement procedure to scrap the deal entirely and impose financial penalties on both AgustaWestland as well as its parent company, Finmeccanica. So this backgrounder is going to put the heat directly on the BJP and the NDA-led government, Preeti. It doesn't, as Jugal rightly pointed out, it very interestingly doesn't name, any individuals, but we do know, and Headlines Today has accessed the letter that was written on 22nd of December 2003 by Brajesh Mishra, at that time the National Security Advisor to the then Chief of Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal S. Krishnaswamy, actually talking about the mandatory requirements as far as the VVIP helicopter acquisition is concerned, and literally ordering him to keep the SPG and the PMO, in the loop on that particular acquisition. And that letter, even if things have gone awry as far as this acquisition is concerned, that one letter plus the minutes of meetings that followed between the Air Force technical team, the SPG and the PMO is going to come and completely blunt any potential attack by the opposition in Parliament.